Apparently, what Kamala Harris said on Oprah Winfrey was just a joke.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
my staff will deal with that later.
My staff's going to deal with that later. Well, guess what? The staff is dealing with it, and now is later. And just besides the fact of what would happen, how would the left respond if Donald Trump had said the same thing? Harris advisor says quip on shooting intruder was a joke. She didn't mean that. In other words, it was a lie. So if somebody comes in, Kamala Harris isn't going to do anything. Not that Kamala Harris has to do anything, because she's surrounded by a 24-hour day, 7-day a week, taxpayer-funded security detail called the Secret Service. Harris campaign advisor Keisha Lance Bottoms said the vice president's comment on Oprah Winfrey Thursday night that she would shoot someone who broke into her house was a joke. It's all fun and games. Come on. We have an image to uphold, and one of the ways we uphold that image is we lie, and then the staff picks up the pieces later and says it wasn't even a lie. It was just a joke. It was a joke, says Bottoms to Jakey the Snake Tapper from the Counterfeit News Network on Friday afternoon, and she knew that we would still be talking about it today. But I think it's important that people know that the vice president respects the right to bear arms, that she supports the Second Amendment, and then that fateful word, but. Honey, if you got to say but after you say you support something, you automatically don't support it. There ain't no but. Shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed. Let's go over the whole thing. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right, the unalienable right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So what's a bump stock ban? That's an infringement, Trump. What's red flag confiscation laws, Donald Trump? It's an infringement. Kamala Harris also wants to institute red flag confiscation laws, extreme risk protection orders is what they call them. That's also an infringement. She wants an AR-15, AK-47, and high-capacity magazine ban. That's an infringement. She wants universal background checks, or what I call universal infringement checks. That is antithetical to the Second Amendment. If you say you're for the Second Amendment, you're saying you're for shall not be infringed. When you pile infringements on top of the Second Amendment, you're automatically not a staunch supporter or any kind of supporter of the Second Amendment. But she wants responsible gun ownership. The irresponsible government, the fiscally irresponsible, the legally irresponsible government wants you to exercise responsible gun ownership. And according to Kamala Harris from a newsreel from a couple years ago, she said, hey, we're going to make sure you're responsible gun owners. We're going to make sure you have them locked up. We're going to violate your Fourth Amendment right to be secure in your property. And we're going to come in and make sure they're secure. Because she's the government. She just wants to help. And she wants our communities to be safe. Later in the interview, Bottoms, the former Atlanta mayor, added the comment humanizes Harris in a way that most don't get to see. You mean her joking or lying about the fact that she's a gun owner? Lying about the fact that if somebody came in, she would shoot him when she doesn't have to because she has a Secret Service detail that you and I don't have. So she's very comfortable taking guns away from us while she keeps all the guns around her to protect her. She doesn't want your guns to protect you, but she wants her guns to protect her. So this humanizes her in a way that most people don't get to see. Her lie humanizes her. Just think about that for a second. During an interview with Oprah that aired Thursday, Harris said, if somebody breaks into my house, they're getting shot. She proceeded to laugh and added that she probably should not have said that, but that her staff would deal with that later. And this is her staff dealing with it. Harris said during her debate with former President Donald Trump last week that she's a gun owner, which Oprah said was news to her. Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, has also talked about owning firearms because he also wants to psychologically operate on people in the breadbasket of America who are actually gun owners. They're trying to humanize themselves. They're trying to instigate that propaganda of reliability or that plain folk technique that shows you, hey, Tim Walz is just one of us. Kamala Harris, she's just one of our homegirls, man. Of course she needs a gun to protect herself. Holy cow. She's just like everybody else. Here's my point, Oprah. I'm not trying to take everyone's guns away. I believe in the Second Amendment. Harris added, she said the gun control measures she supports are just common sense. And of course, that's what a tyrant would say. A tyrant would come to you and say, hey, it's just common sense. I got to take away your AR-15, AK-47 high-capacity magazines. I have to ban them. I have to make sure that I criminalize innocent Americans. Millions, tens of millions of innocent Americans for the misdeeds and evil actions of just a few psychopathic people who are probably on big pharma medication. We got to penalize everybody else for the actions of the few. That is not justice. That's antithetical to justice. She said the gun control measures she supports are just common sense. It's common tyranny. Harris also talked about being a gun owner during her first campaign for president. Quote, I am a gun owner and I own a gun for probably the reason a lot of people do, for personal safety, Harris said in 2019. I was a career prosecutor. In other words, people were gunning for me, so obviously I had to have a gun. So this right here, when you see people say that they own a gun, when you see people say, hey, I'm just like you, and they embroil themselves in the propaganda of relatability where they're trying to bring themselves in your eyes down to their level when they always think that they're above us, that they are the masters and that we are the servants. You need to stop and you need to pause and you need to ask yourself, what am I dealing with here? I am dealing with the most psychopathic people on planet Earth, some of the most evil people you could possibly be exposed to. Why in the hell would I demean and demoralize myself by going to the voting booth and pulling that lever or pushing the button for somebody who lies about something and then their staff comes back and says, hey, she was only joking. What is she joking about? Is she really a gun owner or is she just joking about that? Would she really defend herself and her family by the firearm she says she has, or was she just joking about that? And what do you personally think? Not that you're going to tell us or we're going to get any kind of truth out of you, but what do you personally think about an American who wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger on somebody who is trying to jeopardize the lives of themselves or their family? Listen to this lie again, this joke.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes. I hear that. I hear that.
Words matter, and I don't hold that against her. That right there is common sense. It's them or me. And if they're in my house, it's going to be them.
Probably should not have said that.
Happy hands. Happy hands.
But my staff will deal with that later.
Yeah, well, the staff did deal with it, and the staff says, she was only lying. Excuse me, she was only joking. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a shirt, but more importantly, understand what your rights are, stand for your rights, realize that freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having freedom. And in times of universal deceit, telling the truth, Kamala, is a revolutionary act. If the revolution is to be, it's up to you and me. Let's make it peaceful. I'll see you in the next video.